My name is Joseph Corral. I'm a product marketing manager here at Google, and today I'm hanging out with a few friends to show you how to build a mobile-friendly site in minutes with a great new tool from DudaMobile. And today we're going to be focusing particularly on web publishers and how you can use the Duda tool to help them to build a mobile-friendly site and also add ads to that site so that they can earn money. The best part about this tool is that it's actually free. For the first year, you can use this tool, and Google is going to foot the bill. And we're doing this because we have an ongoing initiative that we call our GoMo initiative to help folks to build mobile-friendly websites and empower them and give them the tools they need to get that done. If you want to learn more, go to howtogomo.com and see everything that we have there available for you. But for now, let's get started with a demo, and I'll start by introducing you to the folks that we have on the screen here. So first, we have Mink. He's a CMO at DudaMobile. And we also have Sagar Doshi, my colleague and a product specialist on the AdSense team. And finally, we have Dan Hogan, co-founder of ScienceDaily.com. He's our publisher, and we're going to talk about how we can make his site mobile-friendly. Dennis, why don't you get us started?
All right. Thanks, Joseph. So let's start this off by showing how we can take a blog and convert a blog into a mobile-friendly format very easily. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here with you. And we're going to open up the AdSense blog. So here's the AdSense blog, and if we scroll up and down, we know, I'm assuming most people are familiar with this. It's a blog. There are daily and weekly postings to it. We've got the header, Google Inside AdSense blog, and so on. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab the URL, and we're going to go to the GoMo.DudaMobile.com website URL, which is accessible from howtogomo.com. And we're just going to type in the URL, or in this case, we're going to paste it in, and we're going to click Make My Site Mobile. So now what we're doing is we're actually going out and we are analyzing the structure of the websites. We're looking at the HTML, we're looking at the content, and we're going to take it all and map it to a mobile-friendly format. So here we go. We've identified the site as a blog. Okay. And this first step here, you can see there's lots of different templates where you can customize the colors and format very easily. We're going to just go with the default conversion, the default theme here. And so as we browse the website here, scroll up and down, we can see that all the blog postings are laid out here. If there was an image associated with it, then we can pull in the image. If not, we've got a default image that we insert. And I noticed that when we look at the header, we were able to identify the icon that appears in the header, but we're going to want to change that so people understand that this is the Google AdSense blog. So we're going to go ahead and click Next. And here's where we have, this is the heart of the site editor. In fact, we have two general views to it. We've got a basic view, which is really designed for small businesses that are building small business websites. And then we've got the full view, which is designed more for people that are a bit more creative, a bit more comfortable using technology. And here's where we're going to spend a few minutes editing the AdSense blog. So, like I said, we want to take a look. We want to address the header issue. So we're going to go ahead, and if we switch back to the AdSense website, we're going to grab a section of the site using just an image capture tool, and we're going to go ahead and select this. That looks good, yeah. And we're going to save that to our desktop. Okay. All right, now we're going to jump back to the site. And here, if we just click on header and logo, here's where we can easily edit the logo. We can replace it. And in this case, we're going to replace it. So if we click Edit Logo, just to show you, like with this width selector, for example, you can increase and decrease the size of the logo. But again, in this case, we want to actually swap out the image. So we click Change Image. And we're going to upload from our desktop. And we're going to insert this, okay, and click Done. So now we just swapped out the header. Very, very easy. You're going to find that most of the controls and capabilities here with the Duda Site Builder are drag and drop. It's all designed to be WYSIWYG, very friendly and easy to use. So now that we've got an AdSense, we've got the header cleaned up, let's just go ahead and show you how we can add an AdSense ad to the website. So down below under the ad content, we have all these different plugins or widgets that you can very easily drag and drop into the website. So in this case, we're going to take the AdSense ad unit, the the widget, and we're going to drop it in. We'll just put it in right below. Right, we're going to put it inside the header, just below the header. And so here we've got.
Question while you're doing that, Dennis. Yeah. So since we do have an AdSense expert on the phone, particularly on mobile, Sagar, can you tell us, is there any best practice on where these ads should be placed on a blog to get the highest CTRs and the most money?
Absolutely. Yeah, actually, Dennis is doing just the right thing. One of our top recommendations is to actually have a 320 by 50, a standard mobile leaderboard, close to the top of your mobile site. That tends to work really, really well. Sometimes what folks do is at the bottom of a specific blog page or a specific article page, they may include actually a full-scale 300 by 250 towards the bottom, so it's not too intrusive. But starting with having a 320 by 50 up top, we found to actually do pretty well for someone building a mobile site.
Gotcha. And then Dennis, is that, I think a lot about building these websites and getting the optimal CTRs is experimentation. So can folks go back and change the placement and find out what works best for their particular site?
Yeah, sure. So let me show you what we can do here. So let's click done on this. We're going to click the done button. You can see that. So now we've got an ad unit below the header, and if we click on the preview button, if we click on the okay, we're going to grab an ID. That's fine. We can demonstrate.
You can of course just use your own publisher ID there if you're a publisher.
Exactly. So if we click on preview, we'll show you what the site looks like, what the ad unit's going to look like, the placement of it, and you can browse it on, see what it will look like on an Android phone, iPhone, Windows Phone, BlackBerry, and so on. All right, so let's close out of this though. But to your question, Joseph, let's go ahead and let's go back and open up the ad unit. In fact, we're going to just go ahead and delete the ad unit, and we're going to add a new one right above the header. So here now, if you want to put it above the header, you can, again, the same thing. It's very easy. You can experiment with placement of the ads and go. And in fact, what we can do is go ahead and click done. To your point, if we scroll down to the very bottom of the site, or if we go into a specific article, we can also add in, we could put in the larger size AdSense units. Yep, just drop it right there. Right, so we can put in a 300 by 250, which is not too intrusive. Shouldn't be too intrusive for people, but now you'll have the larger ad units appearing at the bottom of the page. So again, you could drop the ad units in wherever you want. It's very easy. You can experiment. You can put in multiple ad units. It's really, you've got complete control over it. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we? I think this was just a good intro to showing you how easily you can convert a blog and add AdSense units. Let's go ahead and let's work with Science Daily. Hi Dan, how are you doing?
Hi, Dennis. I'm fine. Yes, Science Daily is a science news website that's been around for a number of years. We started in 1995, and we have over 3 million visitors a month now. But the one thing we don't have is a mobile presence, and this is something that a lot of our visitors have been asking for a long time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this particular tool works, and if we can get online, I'll offer it to our visitors right away.
And hey, Dan, I don't want to put you on the spot, but why haven't you gone mobile yet? You know you need to do it. What is preventing you from doing it up to this point?
That's a good question. It's been a combination of lack of time, lack of resources. As you know, there's so many platforms out there, iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone. And it was, up until now, I think, rather daunting to try to come up with one app that could satisfy all these platforms. And so we've procrastinated, but I think maybe it's been to our advantage if we can come up with a solution that basically lets us author once to many platforms and have that automatically synced across the entire mobile platform array. That would be perfect.
Great. I mean, so you're not alone. I wouldn't feel guilty about the procrastination. We hear this a lot from publishers and other businesses where they know they should be building a mobile website and be mobile friendly, but time is constrained, resources are constrained. So that's why we really want to make something like DudaMobile available. So let's show them what we can do, Dennis.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. So actually go back to the site. So Dan, I did spend some time on your website this past week. There's a lot of content. It's very, very deep, and I think one of the challenges that you will have that as we build your mobile website here and afterwards is you're going to have to make some decisions about what the priorities are. You know, thinking from an end user perspective that might spend 5-6 minutes at a time on your mobile website. What are the main areas of the site? What's the main content that most users will be most interested in reading and accessing? So as we go through building your site today, just keep in the back of your head thinking about what are the priorities, think about your end users, and what's going to be most important to them.
Right.
So let's go ahead. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to grab the URL, and again, if you go to howtogomo.com, there's a link to create a mobile site, and that'll take you right here. So now we're going, and again, what we're doing is we're actually looking at the structure of your website, the HTML, the content, and we're basically creating a mobile-friendly version of it. I should also point out a few important things, questions that people typically ask, and that is, are we building a version that we host that's separate from your desktop website? It is. The site that we build, it is in fact hosted on our platform, on the DudaMobile platform. However, the content, it continues to exist within your desktop website, or if you have a CMS system or a database, it continues to live there. We basically are providing a front end to your desktop website and the content that you have available. And so what's important to understand is that as you update content on your desktop website, that content will be updated automatically on your mobile site. And that's very important for people. For a lot of businesses, they want to make sure that if they can make changes in one place and not have to make changes to both the desktop site and the mobile site, it saves a lot of time and resources from having to maintain two separate websites. So, okay, so here we go. We've got the Science Daily site that we converted. The header looks good. Navigation, this is not your navigation. I'm going to show you how we can change that very easily. And here you can see we basically pulled in all of the content from your desktop website. So again, this is where it's important to think about what's important to your end user, because this is a lot of information for somebody to browse and access from their phone. So okay, we're going to do some cleanup and so on. So let's scroll back up. Let's go ahead and click on next. We're just going to stick with the default conversion. So the first thing we want to do is let's fix the navigation. Okay, and so because you've got multiple levels of navigation, our technology, we do the best that we can to try to identify what is the primary navigation of your website. In this case, we didn't get it, but we're going to go ahead and change that. So we're going to click on Navigation Menu. And here, there's a few things that we can do here. We can, but we're going to start with reselecting the menu navigation. And so it's a little bit hidden. This is I would consider this an advanced feature that's not used very often. But we're going to go down to the More button. And in the More button, like any good software, we have like the advanced settings here. In this case, we've got Select Different Navigation, and we're going to go ahead and click Select. And now what we're doing is we're just simply pulling up your website. And we now have the ability to go and select whatever the main navigation of your mobile website, whatever you want it to be. So Dan, let me ask you, I mean, in browsing your site, it looks like the news, and I know you mentioned this previously, the news really seems to be the primary focus. Is that right?
It is, yes. The first layer of navigation are sort of document types, news, articles, videos, images, books. The second level would be our subject-based navigation, health and medicine, mind and brain, plants and animals. So you could select either that second row or even in that first button, there is a list of just the top news sections,
right,
as well as sort of general about this page kind of information.
Right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and select news. And we can play around. We can show you how you can very easily change the navigation. But let's go ahead and select news. And now on the right-hand side, we should see the navigation update in a second. Okay, there we go.
And Dennis, while you do that, it brings to mind one really great best practice that I think one mistake that some folks make is they try and take their entire regular website, convert it entirely into a mobile site. And the fact is your mobile users are probably looking for something slightly different from what your desktop users are looking for. So going through this process and thinking about what a mobile user is most likely to consume on your website is a really useful way of figuring out what your design should be like, and it'll help you solve that question about navigation pretty easily.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. And when you have a website that's a desktop site that's very deep with content, it's that much more important to make decisions about what are the priorities. You know, so again, you have to just always keep in the back of your mind. Think of yourself as a mobile user when you're browsing mobile websites. You know, what kind of experience do you want to provide your users with? What's most important? What might they be looking for when browsing your website on mobile? It very likely will be something different than what they're going to be browsing from the desktop. So, okay, so here we go. So so we selected navigation. And all we selected was news, because news is so deep on your site that there's a lot there already. And so here, I mean, look at everything that we pulled in. These are all the different menu items under just the news section. And so if we go and we take a look at your site here, in fact, let me just show you a quick let's switch to preview. Give it a second. We click more options, and you just scroll down. There's a lot going on here, and so again, it's going to be important that we make some decisions. So let's go back. We're going to click out of this. I want to show you what we could do just with the navigation menu. So we're going to open it back up. So now here we're going to have your entire menu navigations listed here. And we could do a few things with this. So for example, we know that news on your site is also the home page. So if somebody were to click on news on the navigation, it's like taking them right back to where they are. And so from our perspective, I'd say we don't even need that in there. And so if we click on the eye will allow us to hide any menu nav from your menu. And so this is, again, we can make decisions like, for example, we'll just sort of play around here, like search archives. Maybe we'd say, no, that's not important to offer from a mobile device. Most popular is important. In fact, maybe we'd say it's so important that we want to move it up towards the top. And so now you've got the most popular the most popular menu item in your navigation. Some other things we can do with the menu are we can actually change the icons. And so we do our best to try to identify understand what is written in your menu navigation, and then identify icons that match best. So for example, top news has like a newspaper, but in the other cases we have stars. And so we can very easily, just like for example, if we click most popular, we have a whole bank of icons that you can choose from, so you can replace the star. So for example, let's go back to, like, we can select the pencil. I mean, it doesn't indicate most popular, but there's a whole bank of icons that are available to you that you can customize. A couple of the other things you can do with the menu, you can customize the design of it. So we've got different layout formats. You can switch to sort of a full width menu. You can switch to our half nav menu, or you can switch to a matrix style. So there's a lot of different ways that you can customize the menu. We're just going to go back to our default. And you do other things as well, like the color. You can customize the color of kind of everything. And so, like background, for example, if we can make it all white. We can customize the navigation, the icons, the arrows, and so on. So there's a lot of playing around you can do with here, but we'll keep with what we have here. Okay. So again, I mean, just as we showed before, let's just go ahead and add an AdSense ad. And in this case, maybe we'd put it below the header, as we did before. And by inserting into the header, it will show up on every single page of your website. And by inserting an ad into the footer, it'll also show up on every single page of your website. So that's important to understand. So now, let me show you some other things we can do very easily that are important, at least as I look at your website. Since it is so content heavy, we're going to scroll up and down the page, and we're just going to remove content from here. Okay, so I know there's a lot of content that got pulled in towards the bottom. So we're going to select this entire section, which is, it looks like it's again like more navigation. And if we mouse over, you're going to notice that on the top it says paragraph, the entire selection area is selected, and we've got some controls, but one of which is a trash can. So we're just going to click on the trash can and delete it. And we can do the same thing here. We're going to delete. So now all this content will be removed from the home page of your mobile website. And if you go through other pages of your site and do the same thing, the content will be removed. Now with your site, since you have a lot of dynamic content and you're updating articles and so on, these techniques will also apply to any new content. So by removing text, by removing images and so on from these templates, this is really the content that we pull in. It will continue to will display the content properly, but all this extra content that you don't want to have on your website, it won't show up on that new content that's being pulled in. Any new articles, any new images, and so on.
So Dan, does it sort of pain you a little bit to be cutting down the content on the mobile site? We find that people kind of get attached to their content and want to show everything.
Oh, not at all, because some of my favorite blogs that I visit, it's a totally different desktop experience. But when I go to a mobile site, I'm generally interested in just seeing the top news. Great. And I want to be able to quickly scroll through story after story, and I don't want navigation to get in my way when I'm on my mobile phone. It's great on the desktop to have all those options, but no, I totally understand.
Good deal.
Yeah. So Dan, let me show you some other things, and some of them are less relevant to your website, but they're very, very popular features amongst different types of businesses. And so the first one that is definitely worth showing you is click to call. And again, I know that you probably don't have people calling your business, but I want to show you how we can add some of these features very easily. So here we can just drag and drop click to call. There we go. Right, so now it automatically generates a call us button. If you did have, for example, if you were selling advertising on your site and you wanted people and you want to provide your phone number so people can contact you about running ads on your website, this is a very easy way to do it. And so let's go ahead and click done. The other thing we can do, also that might be relevant to you, is click to email. And so we've got more widgets down here. We've got a click to email, and we're going to drag it, and we'll just sort of put it up top. Having some delays here. Okay,
that's actually a very useful feature for us, click to email. We can get a lot of visitor feedback, a lot of useful feedback, and so that's something we definitely might like to include.
Yeah. And you can drag and drop these widgets anywhere within your website. So for you, if it was more of an advertising play, then probably you'd want to put them towards the bottom. But it really sort of depends upon your priorities. Some other things we can do, because we have these features that are really designed to drive action. Restaurants, for example, we have an open table widget. We've got click to text, so for businesses that want that immediate contact from a potential customer, the customer has the ability to send a text message to them from their mobile website. And then we also have all these design widgets that are really designed to sort of enhance the overall look and feel of your website. So I'm going to just show you one of my personal favorites. We have this concept of columns. I'm going to go ahead and add this columns widget. And within the columns widget, I can now just take any piece of content within the website, and I can just drag and drop it into columns. So it has so it looks nice. Other things that we can do, we have you can drag an image, or if you have a YouTube video, for example, you can just drag and drop a YouTube widget into here. Maybe I would position it just below the buttons. And then in this case, you just copy and paste the URL of the video that you want to be available in your website, and that's it. It's very simple. Also, it's worth noting that if you have videos on your website, or if you have photographs on your website, those will be available in your mobile site immediately without there needing to be any extra effort on your end. But it is important, like Dan, I saw that we were playing with your website yesterday. I did see that you've got some videos that appear in a Flash format, and if that's videos that have been encoded in Flash, they will not play on a mobile phone. And so you want to make sure that you're using pretty much any other video format, and then they'll play properly within the mobile phone.
Yeah, we'll be switching to a different video platform soon. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
What about the share icon? That we have a lot of people coming to us via social networks, social bookmarking sites.
Yeah, so the share icon, right now I'll show you what we have. It's a very basic share icon. We're actually developing a new one that looks amazing. But the way Share works right now, it's designed to allow people to, when they visit your site, they can like it, they can tweet it, they can +1 it, they can share it on LinkedIn, they can also email it to people. And we are designing, and this is it's an old school widget for us. We actually do have a new design of the widget that's coming out. It should be in our next release. We do have monthly updates with new features and new capabilities, and of course bug fixes. And that should be available in our next release. But right now, the Share widget works great. It's one of our most popular features, along with the click-to-call, mobile maps, and the click-to-email.
You know, I got to say, one of the things I love about these extra widgets is how well they take advantage of a phone's internal features. One of the things that we found across our AdSense network is that mobile sites that do a good job of making it easy for someone to make a phone call, to go directly to a maps and direction, something that takes advantage of the unique features of a handset, really end up driving up engagement a huge amount. And because mobile users are especially fickle and are so quick to leave, anything you can do to increase that really pays some good dividends to you in terms of user commitment.
Yeah, you know, and that's a great point. In fact, I'm going to switch off the video because we're running out of time here. Switch out the screen share. You know, I mean, the benefit, one of the biggest benefits to any business in having a mobile website is it really reduces the amount of, basically the amount of time it requires a customer to contact your business. And so, you know, unlike on a desktop, if you see a phone number, it requires now getting your phone, picking up the phone, making a call to that business. On mobile, it's just instant. You press a button, and it's dialing the business. If there is a map, if you want to get directions, you press a button and you immediately have directions to the business. Or if you know, same thing with texting and so on. And so it really reduces any sort of friction or barriers from a customer being able to contact your business.
That's great. You know, and I want to highlight what I think is a key feature about the powerful nature of this tool. So, question for you, Dan. It's an easy one. It's in the name of your site. How often do you update the content on your site, would you say?
It depends. Throughout the day, we could be updating it every 5 or 10 minutes. Whenever we post a story, it goes live to the site. The home page is refreshed approximately every 5 minutes. Sometimes we'll actually take a break for lunch and sleep.
In Science Daily, it's probably even Science Hourly. There's a lot of content.
Right, exactly, yes.
And what we've seen in most site building tools can't work well with sites that have refreshed and dynamic content. What's really powerful about the DudaMobile tool is that you can build your mobile site in minutes like this. It's actually powerful enough to be refreshed as your content gets updated. So from a maintainability perspective, it's a perfect use case for you. So
right. You know, well, especially for a news site, because you know you want to be first to get a news story, and if a user notices that on their mobile device and shares it, and it gets on Twitter or Reddit or whatever the social network might be, it can go viral, and it can mean a huge increase in your page traffic, advertising revenue, obviously. So we live and die by the currency of the information. And
great. And now you can live and die by it on mobile as well. Well, thanks everybody. There's a lot of tools out on howtogomo.com to show you more about building mobile-friendly websites, including this very powerful DudaMobile tool. But I want to thank everybody on the Hangout and everybody watching. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,